My first motivation to apply to ADSR project was to know more about Part 11 of the convention, because you know, among the 17th part of the convention, Part 11 is the one that seems very hermetic. Secondly, I wanted to improve my CV, because being deployed in an international organization like ISA, it's a plus in a CV. And thirdly, I wanted to know more about the work in the Secretariat. I've come to ISA meeting twice, and I've always seen the Secretariat busy preparing and conducting the meeting, and I really wanted to know what is happening, what they are doing behind the scene. My expectations were to improve my knowledge in the laws of the Sea Convention, especially in Part 11. I wanted to know more about the process, the procedure, the regulations governing the activities in the area. I wanted to know more about the work of the Secretariat, in fact. So how can countries benefit from the regime set out in Part 11 and the 1994 agreement? During my deployment, I worked on the contribution of Cameroon to the implementation of legal and programmatic frameworks of the laid down by Part 11 of the Convention and the 1994 agreement. This was really interesting to me because being a developed country, and what is more, a geographically disadvantaged country, Cameroon has a lot to benefit from Part 11. So during the research that I carried out, my main objective was to see how Cameroon can really take part in activities in the area and benefit from all the advantages provided by the convention. My greatest achievement during my deployment, that I can think about, is that I've learned more about the regime of the seabed mining, the regime set out by Part 11 of the Convention. I've had the privilege to take part to the meetings of the LTC. The meetings of the LTC are not open to everyone, and taking part to that meeting has been some kind of privilege to me, because I've had the opportunity to see how they work, how they exchange, and seeing such experts gathered in the same place exchanging, it's really gratifying. So those are some of my achievements. Okay, not to talk about the report that I wrote. In the report, I've come to the conclusion that seabed mining can be considered by developing countries like Cameroon as a part of the development strategy, taking into account all the advantages that countries can benefit from Part 11 regime, in terms of transfer of technology, transfer of knowledge, capacity building, institutional capacity building. So that's something to which my country should pay great attention. My experience in ISA will really assist me, because ISA is an important international organization in the law of the sea, and for a diplomat, being deployed in an international organization is always an asset. Secondly, in the Secretariat, I've learned a lot. I've seen how they work together. I've learned more about team working. I think with that, I will take that back home, and I will really improve my team working. And thirdly, the knowledge that I've gained, the experience that I've gained, I will share it with colleagues, and I think it will have a spillover effects in the delivery of my mandate as head of the sub-department in charge of Central African Affairs. Fourthly, I think it's an asset in my CV, and who knows, from the Minister of External Relations, I may find a job somewhere again, thanks to ISA, thanks to my deployment at the Secretariat. What really surprised me is the way people work in the Secretariat, and I've seen how teamwork is developed at the Secretariat, and I now understood why the meetings of the ISA, the meeting of state parties, the meeting of the council, and the meeting of the assembly is so well organized. It's because the Secretariat really works very well. What also surprised me was the way we have been welcomed at the Secretariat. To tell you the truth, when I arrived at Kingston, I was really well received. In the Secretariat, what I really appreciate also is the professionalism of the staff. They are all good experts in their respective domain, and that is something very gratifying. It's always interesting to work with people of such level of expertise. I've taken part to presentations in marine geology. I'm not a scientist. I'm a jurist, and to tell you the truth, those who presented, made the presentation, narrowed down the domain to my own level, and I really understood what was really going on. A deep seabed exploration currently is a domain where African countries are not really investing themselves. During my deployment at the Secretariat, I've come to know more about the advantages that Part 11 offers to developing countries. And I would say that deep seabed mining is something that should each and every African country should take it as part of its development strategy, given the advantage provided by the convention. African deep sea mining is very capital intensive, and most African countries don't have enough means to sustain an exploitation or even exploration in the deep sea. So the convention offers many opportunities for African countries to be involved in seabed mining without spending much money. The convention offers to countries the possibility to patronize a contractor. And by patronizing a contractor, developing countries like Cameroon can benefit a lot in terms of training programs offered by the contractors, in terms of royalties collected from the seabed mining, in terms of taxes levied on the benefits of the contractors. So there is a lot to gain in seabed mining for developing countries and for Africa as a whole. And African countries could mutualize their efforts to invest in seabed mining.